The Squatch Seekers of the South, searching for truth, debunking the doubt. The answers are there if the questions don't count. The Squatch Seekers of the South. East Central Alabama, near the Georgia line. The mighty Chattahoochee running deep and wide. There's talk of hairy creatures running about, and a group of Squatch Seekers steady stalking the South. Whoa, Squatch Seekers of the South, searching for truth, debunking the doubt.
Hey everyone, welcome to Squatch Seekers of the South. I'm Jason. I'm going to be your host tonight. Tonight we're going to dive deep into one of the strangest and most controversial sets of encounters in Southern military history. The mysterious reports from Fort Benning, Georgia. Before we get started, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the social medias, and also check out our Squatch Seekers of the SquatchSeekers.com website as well. Tonight we have Chris, we have Jeremy, we have Jesse, and we also have Dale Boswell. Welcome, guys. So what's been going on?
Oh, man. How y'all doing? Hey, everybody.
I was giving everybody else a chance to speak.
Well, I didn't chime in because I knew Jesse was about to talk.
My life's enjoying this little bit of rain we've had here lately.
Yeah.
It's cooling off too.
Yeah,
Cooling off.
finally.
Yeah.
It's actually almost chilly out here.
You ain't got nothing to talk about? Talk about the weather.
Yeah.
Can't never go wrong. Hey, we can talk about why me and Chris still aren't deer hunting here.
Yeah, why aren't y'all?
I really don't know.
I hear it's bow season.
I don't know why
It
Jesse
is.
hadn't gone anywhere.
I'm waiting on Chris to take me to special property. He's scared I'm gonna shoot that big deer he's got on his camera. It's
So-
impossible to find a deer lease.
They had no problem.
Yeah, because you got family land.
So what's been going on with you, Dale, this past week?
Man. I've been traveling a little bit, and I had a fun trip up in around Muscle Shoals, Alabama, camping out with a bunch of friends. And
So you got out camping.
yeah, I did. Well, there's a lot of people, man. I just so many cool folks from Coombo Baker and Terry Allen and Billy Schilling and the Greg House and Misty. I mean, just so many people from Woodwalkers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun. It was on a bluff
A lot of familiar
overlooking the Tennessee River. An outlet
Okay,
for the-
cool. Yeah,
for
I
the
saw
boat. Had a lot of
where
fun.
I saw where the Woodwalkers had posted some pictures. It looked like y'all had a nice group of folks up there.
Yeah, we
Y'all
did.
Y'all have anything interesting going on?
Yeah, we had some activity. As far as myself, I heard maybe some wood knocks, during the night. But early, a group that was out thought they saw a booger running across a field. Something big and black running across the field. So it could have been a booger. But other than that,
bipedal.
yeah.
Odd.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They definitely thought it was a booger. It was up, of course, nobody had any cameras or anything going. They were just riding
Right.
across or down a dirt road and look over on the field, one of them things. But it was fun and a lot of socializing and some good eating. And other than that, I fell down. So if I moan and groan a little bit, I think I might have cracked some ribs in my
You trying to
right
do
here.
the Evel Knievel?
Yeah, heck yeah, and I just need to cut that stuff out, But it comes with being old. But other than that, how are you guys doing? What y'all been up to?
Pretty good. So your camping trip. So did you sleep on the hard, cold ground? Maybe that's why you're hurting.
Well, no, I was on a mattress. No.
A mattress?
Blow up mattress in my tent.
I got
But no, I didn't fall till I got home.
Oh yeah, okay.
Last night, it was weird. I don't know if you guys ever have, but I have never actually passed out in my life. I've got little woos and stuff, but as far as like passing out, like you're here this minute, you open your eyes the next, and you're on the floor. It freaked me out. You know, I've been having some low blood pressure problems, and I've got an appointment tomorrow. But I actually fell up against my. I got one of the kiddie towers, like cats like to climb on.
Right,
and I think it's about chest high and a sharp point right there. And I think whatever happened, I think I fell up against it. Then I fell up against my bed and I ended up in the floor. And that's how I'm just theorizing, because I don't remember nothing after standing next there and thought it felt like it getting a little dark. Then I swear it felt like somebody hit me in my shoulder, and I remember thinking, "Oh God, my shoulder hurts." And I opened my eyes and I was looking under the bed.
Oh goodness!
And after I like, where am I at? You know what happened? But I've never actually done that before. And it was weird, but it was fascinating to know that split second. Yeah, my memory is gone. There's no memory of me going from there to there whatsoever, and it just freaks me out. I've never done that.
I would have
before.
to imagine that might be some of the same types of feelings that you would get if you got zapped by a Bigfoot.
Yeah,
it was pretty close. Yeah.
For sound,
absolutely.
Yeah, Chris's wife, she passed out one time. It was pretty scary for her too, but turned out not to be anything major for her. So hopefully that same outcome for you as well.
Yeah, but I don't know what I've been having some blood pressure problems and stuff, and all I did was got off my bed like I've done a million times, was walking to the bathroom. Yeah. I stopped for a second, and everything went doo-doo. Then I woke up on the floor. So anyway, I'll see my doctor tomorrow, and hopefully that won't happen again. I'm gonna keep my walking stick handy.
Yeah, good idea. Hey, Flat Rock, thanks for joining us, Alicia, David,
hey
Hillary.
y'all.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Alicia said, "Here we go." She must have heard you and Chris bickering a while ago.
She looks forward to that.
It's not over.
It's gonna come for the show's over.
Yeah, so
that's the highlight. That's the highlight of the show.
I was telling them before we got on air, we just need to do a segment of just me and Chris going at it for an hour.
Yeah, they put me between them.
Red Deer's the buffer.
Oh, y'all miss all the good stuff right before we go on air. That's
right. We was back in the green room.
Yeah, we can't do it on air. Chris tries to talk ugly to me sometimes.
Yeah,
I was laughing
we had to talk before you even got on, Dale. We were talking about that they cuss too much. So,
yeah, that's why we have.
So we had to go over all the rules for YouTube, how not to get kicked off.
Yeah. Y'all don't laugh too much. It actually hurts to laugh. I've heard that saying before, but it actually does. It's tough. So y'all don't make me laugh too much. Oh Lord.
I have cried a few times being around Chris. It's brought tears to my eyes from laughing so hard.
He's a natural. He's a natural comic. He just don't know it.
Yeah. So not a lot's been going on with me. I know Chris. They had a little Halloween party the other night, so we all carved some pumpkins. I know.
They say, I didn't get invited.
Jesse wasn't invited.
Yeah, apparently it was only blood family.
No, there was a bunch of folks there that wasn't blood.
I've shed blood for Chris. So I should be blood family.
Chris is twisting the life. Oh no, there was a lot of people there that weren't blood. Yeah,
I wasn't invited.
And you went to a concert yesterday.
A concert anyway. So, yeah. We went to see Big Daddy Weave in person.
What is that?
It's a Christian gospel.
Christian gospel.
Yep.
They had a big thing up in Opelika Town Square. It's pretty nice.
Wow. Look at Hillary go chasing that number one. I don't know what that means, but I guess that's an inside joke.
You get rankings on the chat. I think. You don't see it here, I don't think, but
all right.
In the chat, you'll see like Alicia number one, number two, number three.
No Bigfoot pumpkins were carved. Yeah, why was that? Why didn't you do one of our logos on a pumpkin?
It's too much.
Exactly.
He's lazy.
I thought about doing it as well. I was looking at them and I was like, it looks a little too difficult.
Brian did one last year and it was good. I think he did the foot. I think is what he did.
Anyway, maybe we'll share our pumpkins on the Facebook page.
Yeah. We should do that next week. We should just Halloween will be over next week.
We already did it. We're done. We're over it. That was last week.
Participate. So.
No, the week my pumpkin filled in for me doesn't.
We are not getting on live with you two with knives.
I know Chris tried to cut his finger off last week. Trying to open his end can.
All right, so
he's ignoring you.
I guess we'll go ahead and get into it. So, so I know Dale's heard about a couple of these encounters. They're not all Bigfoot stories and encounters, but I did a little research. We live pretty close to Fort Benning, Georgia, and throughout the years, for several decades, there's always been some type of Bigfoot, ghost, UFO type stuff going on over there. I know the Troop Herd Corridor, there's a lot of UFO stuff that goes on up that way too. And
I'm just moving the pillow.
Okay. It's a little bit, I think that's like 30, 40 miles north of here.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of activity that goes on there too. I haven't done a lot of research, but I know the lady over in Molina, she has. And so anyway, so to get started, we'll talk about this encounter that occurred in 1977, and it's known as the Fort Benning incident. So I'm going to do a little bit of reading real quick, and then we'll talk about it. But 1977 Fort Benning UFO incident is one of the most unusual stories ever encountered to a U.S. Army installation. The story comes from two former soldiers, John Vasquez, which he wrote a couple books, and I believe, Dale, you said that you had read some of those books, and also another individual named Commander Sergeant James Norton. They claimed that during a large military exercise in 1977, September, I believe it was September the 14th, if I'm not mistaken, there were over 1,300 soldiers in a field, and a bizarre UFO come over top of them. And afterwards, they had memory issues. Their memories were erased. They were paralyzed. They had some type of paralysis. They had strange rashes. They were missing time. And I'm going to go over here and get a little bit more detail as far as what actually occurred. So Vasquez was 25 years old. He was a private in the military. They were used to early bedtimes, but at some point they were called for a mandatory assembly after dinner. So around 7:30, 1,300 soldiers went out into this field waiting for the captain's briefing. Somewhere around 8 p.m., soldiers noticed a bright star moving circles, blinking in and out of sight before vanishing. A few minutes later, a glowing orb appeared above Charlie Company, causing panic. Some soldiers ran, others were paralyzed, and Vasquez nearly fell unconscious. Vasquez, I guess I'm saying that right, and others hid under the barracks. So they actually crawled up under the barracks, and they were hearing high-pitched animal-type wailing and screaming, which actually turned out to be the 1,300 soldiers that were laying out on the field that were paralyzed. They were screaming. There was a smaller orb that entered a building following crash sounds banging around. A sergeant was found unconscious in the building. And the soldiers debated while they were under the barracks whether or not they were under attack by Russia. Let's see.
It's always the Russians.
It's always the Russians.
Always go back to the Russians.
At some point, a massive orb illuminated the barracks. Vasquez heard a metallic, telepathic female voice reassuring him that he would be okay, that he was in no harm's way. This is where the story goes a little bit deeper. Yeah, it's a little hard to believe, but we'll go through it. Drawing to the light, Vasquez saw his hands become invisible. He glimpsed up and saw a small creature entering the orb. He was struck and lost consciousness. At some point, he awoke, and he and several other people were rising through the air, going up into the spaceship. While he was in there, he heard the female voice again. He saw her. She was poking and prodding at him. He saw rows of unconscious soldiers on slabs in a medical-like facility. He saw a humanoid alien with beady eyes examining him. He was shown visions of destroyed alien planets, suggesting a non-hostile intent. After the fact, the soldiers returned to the field disoriented with discrepancies with time. They suffered nausea, fever, rashes, memory gaps. Their uniforms were incorrectly fastened, so some of the buttons on their shirts were not fastened, or their shirt was buttoned onto the wrong the wrong ones. So
Bennett, what y'all got going on out there?
I know, but this is 1,300 people though. So
that's what's so weird about it to me. 1,300 people.
Right.
Exactly. That's a mass group of folks.
It is.
Should be talking about the same thing in such a close fashion.
Yeah. So let's see. Most of the leadership, they ignored the concerns of the soldiers, dismissing the events. Procedures at Fort Benning became lax post-incident. Soldiers noticed flickering camp lights and experienced a strange time loop in the woods. They were walking through the woods and they come across a camp where several people were at. And then a few minutes later, they come past the camp again and nobody's there. And then a few minutes later, their time on their watch was still the same. So
that's crazy.
That happens on several UFO sightings. There's that's abductions or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Did you mention? I didn't catch it. If you did, that the Secretary of Defense was actually there during that time.
Wow.
Yeah. It was what was called JAWS. And it was Joint something other weapon system. It was some kind of demonstration, some kind of new weapons demonstration. And the actual Secretary of Defense supposedly was there and witnessed all this.
David said government LSD experiment.
Probably
yes.
so.
So it goes on, but at some point there was like a psychologist that came and was interviewing the soldiers and stuff, and they would come out from that interview very dazed and confused and then had no recollection of what occurred at all. This happened to all 1,300, including Vasquez and the other gentleman's name, Norton.
Norton.
Yeah, James Norton. So it happened to both of them. So at the end of all this, nobody remembered anything.
Has anybody ever seen Men in Black with the memory eraser?
Right. So
as Will Smith calls it.
Right. So
neuralizer.
So Vasquez and James Norton later in life, 20, 30 years later, both of them would have dreams and stuff that gave them like little brief snippets of this event. So they're like, what in the world? You know, something's not right. So they both went and got hypnotized to try to retrieve memories, and they did not know each other. Vasquez come out with his story from after he got hypnotized. Later on, James come out with his story, and they were like interlinked. Like a lot of the same details were in both of their reports. So I don't know.
Supposedly there was a battle between the aliens and they shot down actually 2 of our helicopters. And this is documented in that book or in there somewhere. Like I said, I've actually owned 2 books, and both of them is mysteriously disappeared. And one of them I'll tell you about in a little bit when we get to a section apart, and I'll tell you how it disappeared. And it coincides with the newspaper, put it that way.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, there's not a whole lot more detail that I can add to it. I mean, it's just very strange, crazy stuff. Very hard to believe, but
let your imagination run.
But
there was some documented stuff. You know, it's from Martin Army Hospital, and there was actually some stuff documented within the Columbus Ledger paper about, not very much, but it's so crazy that something like this can happen. So big, right. and you never heard of it on any of these UFO shows where they talk about Roswell. This was like Roswell in our backyard.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
But military cover up for sure, because all the leadership, they kind of dismissed everything.
They use Roswell as a front for everybody to go to and think about Area 51 and all that, and don't look at anything else.
Yeah,
this stuff gets publicly said, but nobody pays any attention because they always use something else to put in front of it that makes big news. And everything else up.
Right. And you wouldn't believe you wouldn't believe how many times I posted on Facebook something about this event, and I'm not going conspiracy, but it would always disappear, or it's like nobody's seen it. I'm like. How can nobody even what this happened in our city? It's like nobody sees it. I'm like, I don't know. But also talking about the book, I'll tell you what happened. I was so interested in this. I actually took the book. It's called Incident at Fort Benning, or the Fort Benning Incident. You look it up on Amazon. It's a great book to read. But I took it by our local newspaper, the Phoenix Citizen, who actually just did an article on us and here last week. But anyway, I was telling them about this, and I left it with them. Y'all check this out. Maybe you can write an article on this. And hopefully my friend Tony at the paper, she might remember, or might know somebody. But nobody never mentioned a word. I went back a few days later. Nobody had seen my book or even heard of it.
Wow,
that's weird, But anyway, It's something this big, and I'm sure nobody. I don't know why nobody knows about it unless it's.
I don't think we should hit too hard deep on conspiracies. It might get canceled.
Wow, yeah.
But I can go very deep into
reading into this whole incident. I'd never heard of it. I've lived here all my life, and this is just right across the river.
Yeah,
I was actually 2 years old when this supposedly occurred. But 1,300 people. But
it happened the year after I graduated. And you would think I'd have heard something. Still living here, but I would even today, I'll ask if I run into an old a person, not old person, but a veteran that's maybe it served at Fort Benning them years, and I'd ask them, y'all ever heard anything about this or that and stuff? And I've never got any response except what you just read in the books and the you can look him up, his interview on YouTube, and I guess you got that in the links.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
The actual interview with Norton.
It's crazy to me that these UFO sightings and alien interventions and things always tend to happen when we're testing new weapons.
That's right.
Because you said we were testing the Jaws for the first time.
Yep.
Right.
So, and this happened then.
Yeah. What was the name of that? I have it written down here. I want to see if I can find it real quick.
It was JAWS, Joint something other weapons system is what it stood for. I have to look it up.
Yeah, Jaws. I can't remember what it stood for. You had it down in the notes.
Joint Attack Weapons System.
There you go.
System.
Now, that would probably get some aliens' attention. Like, hey, what are they up to?
Even back then, the government's always 20 years ahead of what technology we have anyway.
So with the psychologists coming on site and meeting with each of these 1,300 people, do you think the government has a way to erase people's memories? Because that's kind of how the story reads. Is that
100% believe it?
Yeah, probably. And on top of that, I was about to say mass hypnosis as well. Yeah. Probably, I'm sure.
100%.
Oh, here's your cat.
Hollywood's just a glimpse of what we see in movies.
Let's put this cat up here with Chris so I can claw him. See the cat?
The cat is very hateful to Chris.
This cat's name is Poco. We found him at Poco Loco's Mexican restaurant.
Oh, Poco.
But yeah, so that's crazy. And Norton also claimed that he had a piece of the aircraft.
Right.
That he couldn't burn, couldn't destroy, couldn't do anything.
And I think Norton's from Alabama. I think he retired up around Huntsville or somewhere. It talks about where he's from. So yeah,
I didn't look into that, but I know that I think it was he passed away in 2011. However, before that,
David said the cat's a Russian spy.
Could be. Before he passed away, he was actually being followed, and some people from the government came and talked to him, and then he died like a couple of days later. But they said that he died from cancer and I think hepatitis C or something.
It
just adds more to the conspiracy theory,
Mm-hmm.
So
it's just funny that it happened right after that comes out.
Yeah. I literally knew about this even back then, and I remember when Norton was alive, I actually tried to contact him, and never could. I was just curious to talk to him, but I've known about this a long time, and I'm glad y'all brought it up. So maybe somebody will investigate it and dig up some evidence.
Yeah, Northwest Tracker. She asked if who owns the land around that base. Is it foreign government? Who knows nowadays? But as far as we know, it's owned by the military.
Truthfully, the government owns everything. We own nothing.
True. Absolutely. Don't pay your taxes on your house, even though it's paid for, and you'll see who owns your house.
Exactly. Exactly my point.
Yeah. So there were like those two reports, when this actually occurred for several days, according to Vasquez and Norton, all of these people remembered somewhat what happened, but 3 or 4 days later, no one remembered anything. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
1,300 people. Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, do y'all think that this could have been just the weapon system gone wrong? Maybe they were testing something I don't know, because they all were paralyzed and screaming and hollering, and then they ended up with rashes and stuff.
Yeah, that's something too. Like, I mean, it could have been that. Just like, what was it, the Manhattan Project?
Yeah,
like something like that was something gone awry that the government did. So,
but but it's crazy that this dude claimed that he floated up through the air and went inside of a spaceship.
I mean, I can't remember exactly what year and where it happened, but there was Navy ships that had nuclear testing done on our own soldiers.
Oh wow!
Nuclear bombing testing out in the open waters. You can read up about that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's tons of stuff. I mean, just when I was doing this research, I was just focusing on Fort Benning, but I mean, I was coming across all kinds of crazy stuff at military bases. So why do you think the government will go through so much links just to kind of erase the record of this, hide it if they're out there? I mean, of course you got the Roswell stuff.
Because the government's not going to lie to you. They care about us. The government loves its people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if y'all following this 3-eye atlas thing, it's awful curious, what's going on. If you're following that pretty close, we don't know what it is, and it could be them critters coming down here to check on us. I don't know, but there's something I missed.
Just like anything else.
There's no doubt.
How far down said rabbit hole you
could also be Project Bluebeam.
Yeah.
I don't know what Project Bluebeam is, but however, the PDF reader that I'm using is called Bluebeam, so that was interesting.
There we go. You gotta be careful what you say on here.
Northwest Tracker says that the Chinese government has been using mind control technology against their population for 30 years. Yeah, that's crazy stuff. Well, down in Cuba, some of our people were hurt from some type of sound wave thing. I don't know what, like 10, 15 years ago.
10, 15. I remember hearing about
that.
Oh,
God, we got to get rid of Hillary. She said, I'm from the government. I'm here to help.
Good luck. We need some help.
I don't think the government can help what Chris has.
I know they can't help you.
All right. Let's move on to another segment here. This is a story that you and I were talking about, Dale. This occurred in 1979, and the title of it is The Death in the Large Hairy Something. It occurred in 1979. It was a different type of terror for Fort Benning. There was a young private named Mark. He was only 18 years old, was on guard duty at Harmony Church area, which is a remote area, wooded, filled with old World War II barracks.
It's not so far out now, but
back then, I mean, there's still tons of woods around it. But this was in 1979. Yeah, there was.
That's what I'm saying. It's highly populated around Harmony Church now.
Yeah.
So I've been around there lots of times up in that area, Kelly Hill and all that Harmony Church. Yeah.
So this incident occurred around 1 a.m. Mark hears strange noises, wood knocks, and movement near a recreation building. Soon afterwards, there were MPs, helicopters. There was a drill instructor, supposedly in his underwear. It was standing out there, and there was reports of a soldier that had been found dead with his chest ripped open. The military police told Mark that the helicopters were chasing something large and hairy.
One of them government conspiracies broke out of their cage.
Yeah, really. So Mark was on guard duty. So usually they would do like rover type guard duty where they would walk a certain path, around the barracks or whatnot, check all the locks and that type of thing. After this incident occurred, all of that was changed. And when they were on duty, they were just staying directly outside the door of the barracks and weren't allowed to walk around. Let's see.
Hillary says she thought that was supposed to have been a dog man.
Could have been.
Yeah.
They just said large and hairy.
Yeah. I mean, it very well could have been a dog man. That's not. I mean, that's basically all the information I have on that
Say all
report.
reports I've heard of dogman encounters are 9 times out of 10 they're very
Aggressive.
if not deadly.
Yeah.
Well,
But I mean, I've read some where they say that they were very friendly. So
well, don't bears tear people open and just leave them to come back to eat?
True. I mean, it very well could have been a bear or something like that, but it was really strange that
I'm pretty sure the Army could have caught a bear. I'm sure they could. They could tell. I'm sure they could have caught up with him. So I don't think it would.
They can do way more than what we think they can.
Yeah.
And
So
that's crazy. And you told it pretty much like I've been telling it for years. You know,
Mhm.
and the actual guy who I think he did an actual interview too, didn't he?
yeah,
telling the story.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's
Is he
interesting.
still
If
alive?
folks, y'all need to.
I'm not sure if he is or not. But in doing the research on some of these stories and stuff, some of it was in Reddit, and then the comments that followed these types of stories was just crazy at the number of ex-soldiers and whatnot that would shed light on other things that happened to them when they were out there. So, but of course, this report didn't make it anywhere else. It's not in military records. All the sergeants and
I saw them black sites and blacked out letters
and whatnot. Yeah, they
reports.
Well, it's funny that it only takes one person sharing their encounter for other people to open up about it. Especially nowadays on the internet, you're using a handle, you're not using your real name.
True.
So
Yeah.
people still have that anonymity
Extensively. If you know how to work your way around a computer and hack stuff, you can, like the government does, you can figure out who's.
Oh yeah, it's just an IP
pretty
address,
easily.
pretty much.
So that one's very interesting. Well, especially since someone actually got killed. But like I said, there's no official reports out there, news coverage or anything like that. No. So this is just based off of Mark's report. However, I mean, if all these other people were involved like the sergeants and stuff, the MPs, helicopters and stuff like that, you would think that you would be able to get additional information on it somehow. But something that scary, who knows?
It's a need to know and hush hush.
So possibly another military cover-up. Who knows?
Probably so.
Yeah. So you said that you had heard about this report before. Did you just hear about it in Bigfoot research or Dogman research, or did you hear about it from like someone local telling it to you?
Oh, just I heard it just through research. When I started researching my area and just like y'all doing anything I could dig up and listen to, and I found both of those, exactly the ones you talked. Both of them that you talked about today was some of my favorites that I've listened to over and over again because they're basically here in my front yard. I'm pointing at Fort Benning right over there. So yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. So David said there's several unspecified reports around the ammunition storage area, which is close to Harmony Church. You were posted as a sentinel. Yeah.
I will say, doing commercial work that I used to do, I've done a lot of work out on base, and we went many times way 30, 45 minutes to an hour out on base in the middle of nowhere to these training facilities where they do things, and would not be hard to hide something out there.
I mean, if you think about it,
for something to wander around out there,
it's a perfect hiding area for Sasquatch.
Absolutely.
Except for all the weapons.
But
I mean, I've been out there many times, and
so
they'll say they'll let us know beforehand, there will be soldiers out there training.
Right.
And you think they'll be out there training, you think you're going to pass them or see them normally doing something. You'll just be out there working, all of a sudden you'll start hearing the fake missiles whistle and stuff drop.
Right.
And then you'll hear fake gunfire, and then 20 soldiers will run through, and then they'll disappear, and then you'll see more come out.
So a lot of that stuff.
It's
I'm sure they use live rounds in certain areas, but some of that stuff is blanks.
Yeah.
But however, speaking of that, except for the weapons, but there are so many reports on military bases.
I know.
So that leads you to believe Sasquatch, Bigfoot, they don't care. I mean, do they have some other type of whatever to where, they're not afraid of this stuff, or can they not be harmed by it? Who knows?
I 100% believe to an extent the government has something to do with it.
Yeah. So I also did, once I was getting into this, I was like, well, let's see how much Bigfoot, Sasquatch stuff is in official federal documentation. And there's stuff out there. There's literally stuff out there that talks about, not harming them, not doing this, not doing that. It's mostly around hunting types reports.
It could be they use for
Could be what?
That type of government usage to put them in foreign lands and track and control them.
Here we go.
They went awry. I mean, you never know.
You never know. Let's see.
Well,
Alabama
you
side is the
ever
most
seen Universal
uninhibited
Soldier?
area. Yeah, I actually, whenever I went to the Oktoberfest, which is on the Alabama side, whenever I was driving on the paved roads down through there, I saw all these dirt roads and they had signs up that said no dumping, but it didn't have signs up that said do not enter. So I entered, and I drove several miles around on some dirt roads on the Alabama side. It definitely looks very, very squatchy. But I was told that, I think Brian told us that there are cameras and stuff out there. So I didn't get out of the vehicle. But yeah.
Yeah, don't think they don't know what's going on their land.
I know, because it's kind of like right across the river from the
Airport's over that way.
Yeah, the airport that's over there.
And the fort being a historic area, and plus the big national cemetery, all that's available, and it's right there next to all this, and you can ride all kinds of roads back up and through there and stuff, but where the cemetery's at and stuff. So if you want to kind of get close to Fort Benning and do research,
I wouldn't recommend it.
Go out to the cemetery and set up. I don't know.
No, I ain't talking about set up. I'm talking about just ride around. I don't want to set up a tent in no cemetery.
Yeah. So that's another crazy one. Let's see. I have another one. Speaking of, David had mentioned the fuel depot, or what did he say? I don't know what he said. I can't see it anymore. But anyway, I have another one. This one's from 1972-73 at the fuel depot. Two soldiers, Dave and John. I wonder if David might be one of these. I don't know. They were guarding a fuel depot at Harmony Church, where they reportedly saw both a massive UFO and a Bigfoot-like being on the same night. So that was a little before the 1977 incident. They saw bright lights. It was silent, disc-shaped craft. They said that it landed near the fuel depot. Said that it was a tall, hairy creature that glides across the ground. That's interesting. From 1972, someone's given a report and they're saying that it's gliding. And I mean, there's so many reports, more recent, that talk the same way about whenever they see some of these creatures that they look like they're gliding.
They have no bounce.
Yeah. Let's see. It says that it emitted a high-pitched scream. Officers later forced the soldiers to rewrite their report under threat of punishment. The creature's strange movement was later confirmed in similar reports.
Just a soldier in a ghillie suit.
Yeah, I mean, possibly. I mean, so this one mentions a UFO and Bigfoot. Do you think there's a link between the two? Could they be connected somehow?
In a certain instance,
I
there's
don't
possibility. Because I believe orbs and Bigfoots go together, so it's a strong possibility.
I think we've asked this question before in the group, and I don't know. There was tons of people that say no, they're two totally separate things, and then a lot of people said yes, that they feel that they're the same.
It's everybody's opinion on what you want to believe.
Yeah.
Until there's concrete evidence.
Until the government lets us know.
I'm sure Bigfoot and aliens are neighbors. I'm sure they know of each other.
Yeah.
Regardless, I'm sure them aliens see them little big old monsters running around the woods, and them monsters in the woods see them little green people running through the woods.
Maybe that's where cows came from getting abducted instead of Bigfoots. They made it cows.
I mean, look at Skinwalker Ranch, where they discovered cows dead, that their insides were surgically removed with like lasers. Like that's really weird as well.
Oh yeah, that's a story. That's a show in itself, talking about cattle mutilations. That's very fascinating. Yes, skinwalker and cattle mutilations are very weird and fascinating.
Yeah, Skinwalker Ranch. That's a pretty cool show. A lot of crazy stuff happens there, but it seems like a lot of crazy stuff happens in a lot of places. It just doesn't have a big old show reporting on it. So let's see. So there were more recent reports. So the reports did not stop in the 70s. Fort Benning's been a hot spot for strange encounters for several years, or for decades. In 1990, a Ranger School battalion spots a massive dark figure in the swamp area near the firing ranges, and it moves silently and fast. Soldiers report rocks thrown at cars near Columbus, Georgia. The instructors and trainees claim encounters with huge silent creature watching them from the trees. And in the early 2000s, a soldier named Chad spots a massive 8 to 9 foot creature during land navigation training. No cover up, but deep fear among troops is what this person says. So what do you think? Do you think that Fort Benning attracts these crazy phenomenons?
If you dig deep enough, a lot of it goes more heavy around.
Yeah. In my opinion, I think they look at it as probably a safer place to hide, because they've selected people out on a military base. It's not any hunter from anywhere can come around, so they probably got their spots they can hide in and out on a military base, know what's going on and stuff, because it's all organized, so
right.
Maybe it'd be easier to hide. Yeah,
right. And there's also reports of what's it called that they do on Skinwalker, the gamma rays, and where they're measuring the.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the name.
Yeah, but anyway, so supposedly the Fort Benning area has high levels of, I don't know if it's gamma rays or
gamma radiation, maybe
something like that. They talk about it on Skinwalker Ranch all the time, where a lot of strange stuff happens. They also have these.
Yeah,
I think it's gamma rays, but I might be wrong on the terminology.
I forget what the frequency is. The frequency.
Yeah, but supposedly the Harmony Church area has high levels of that. So, and a lot of these sightings or encounters or whatnot have happened kind of in that general area throughout the years. So it's interesting to see how large Fort Benning is, but a lot of the reports are happening in a general area on Fort Benning.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all remember, but a few years ago, talking about Fort Benning and how mysterious it is, not far from my house, down towards Fort Mitchell a little further, they had an area where they were compiling these big old humongous pipes looking thing. They would look like they're big enough to drive through, and they just kept stacking them up in this area. This not a field, but it's like a rental storage area. But it's just lots of them, and so every time I drive by, I wonder what is there going. So one day I seen somebody out there, so I stopped and pulled in there and see if he would tell me what are these pipes used for. And this guy told me that Fort Benning was building a tunnel under the Chattahoochee River from the Alabama side to the Georgia side.
Interesting.
And it wasn't long before all these pipes were gone, and it was back an empty field again. So that was strange.
Well, you should go find the portal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's crazy. Yeah. So David said that general training areas use blank ammunition, but live fire weapons, I guess they have ranges for those.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah, that makes sense. But
yeah, David would know.
Yeah, he said Fort Benning attracts weird people called trainees. Yeah, because I mean they have the what's the name of it? The Training Excellence School or whatever. So I mean, people from all types of different branches of the military come to Fort Benning.
Oh yeah,
for certain things.
True.
Let's see. So I have a couple of local connection and personal accounts. These are all veterans who were on Fort Benning at some point. So Sam says that his stepdad was an airborne instructor and Ranger candidate. he said that he ran into them all the time on the ranges, things thrown at cars, huge figures near roads. Brad saw Bigfoot watching from behind a tree during FTX. I'm not sure what FTX is. Drill sergeant told them to leave it alone. Eric, his brother's unit had multiple encounters in the 1990s. David, entire range battalion saw a massive creature during training. At first, they thought it was a soldier in a ghillie suit, but then it ran silently through a swamp, so they kind of dismissed that. So that's another interesting couple of reports just from general people, and most of those reports were under comments of some of these other larger reports that I was talking about.
Wow, that's some good research, my friend. A lot of that I've never heard of. So you're doing some great work. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I mean, I was just trying to cover a broad base of Fort Benning, not just dig deep into one particular incident or not. But it's interesting that all the way back from the 70s, all the way up until present time, I mean, over decades, lots of reports of the same types of encounters, creatures, UFOs.
You know what sucks? You could just drive onto a military base and just about do what you wanted. And ever since 9/11, you can't do that.
You can still go on there. You just have to stop and show your driver's license. They're going to put a mirror up under your car.
He has an issue doing that.
Whatever.
But yeah, so
Got a problem with authority.
field training exercise. Thanks, David. Let's see.
Maybe we should make Chris join the military.
Slovenian ghost dance. The dancer
You
glides.
can probably go in as a sergeant as old as you would.
I'm not even paying him any attention.
So interesting. So we've already discussed some of these points, but if these things are out there, what do you think the military knows that we don't?
A lot.
Yeah,
A lot.
Yeah.
It's all compartmentalized though, so not everybody in the military would know everything, right? It's all
Very much
compartmentalized, so that way only the need to know people know.
Yeah.
David should give more info on something like that.
David said, come walk with him.
I ain't scared.
Yeah, go on out there to Fort Benning.
Yeah, you know, you're talking about what the government knows and what they don't know. I've often thought, how much influence does the pharmaceutical industry have in this? Because we don't know what a Bigfoot's immune system is. What if they got the immune system? What if you can get something from them to you and not never get cancer anymore and stuff? You know, so I mean, who knows? But
the government.
What they know. But I'm just willing to bet that, you know, if these animals live out in the wilderness, they've got immune systems, you know, that are awesome, and I bet there's things in there that could help humans, and the government knows this. You know, I believe it.
Yeah.
That comes down to how much money you got. Alicia said she's proud of you for having your thermos tonight.
I had to. The barista's sick tonight, so he couldn't run coffee.
So did you find that out beforehand?
No.
Yeah. So anyway, that's about all I have about Fort Benning tonight. Anyway, seems like they have it all: UFOs, strange lights, cover-ups, missing time, repeated sightings, massive hairy creatures in the woods. So I don't know whether you believe this stuff or not. There's something stalking Fort Benning.
Yeah, look it up, people. Look it up and research it. There's a lot of cool stuff come out of Fort Benning, right on down to movies. So many movies are made out here, so it's very interesting area to research. You know?
Yeah, and I'm sure there's probably other reports as well, because, you know, just like we find in our general research, a lot of people just don't want to share that type of information for fear of possibly having someone from the military show up at their house. You know, you never know.
If you look, there's many reports of people coming out about this with close to concrete evidence. And speaking of men in black showing up to their houses and people disappearing and people mysteriously dying all of a sudden and stuff to cover stuff up.
And also black helicopters circling your house and around your property. And
I'm gonna
stuff,
give him Chris's evidence.
Yes. Speaking on helicopters and stuff, so I had talked about a while back about the troop herd corridor. and I haven't done a lot of research on it, but it's like 70 miles north south around LaGrange area. So LaGrange will be the center point. So what, like 40 miles north, 30 miles south, and then like 120 miles east to west. They call that the Troop Herd Corridor because there's been tons of UFO sightings, Bigfoot sightings, and there's military aircraft that travel that area all the time, very low, like at treetop level and stuff like that. So who knows, that might have something to do with military sightings, and maybe some of them got loose from Fort Benning and went up to LaGrange. Who knows?
They fly low helicopters around my neighborhood often, but I think that's just training exercises.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I've thought the same thing. Of course, you don't think conspiracy, but when I was really posting, getting deep, helicopters would just feel like they was right on top of my house. You know, I'm right here, like I say, on the outskirts of Fort Benning, and it would be so loud you think they were landing on my house. But I'm like you. I'm like, nah, they just got to be. But it's like they were looking for something. They were that low, you know. So
yeah.
That's been some of the kind of reports for the Troop Herd Corridor. Like they would see the same big, huge aircraft carrier like every single day for like 2 months or something. You know, just something just kind of out of the ordinary, and then wouldn't see it again for a couple of years or something. Mm-hmm. And then also Skinwalker Ranch. They've even reported all the activity and stuff that they have up there. There's military style helicopters and planes that come by.
They turn their transponders off.
Right. And didn't Skinwalker Ranch, used to be ran by the military, correct?
Yeah, I think they owned it.
They
one
investigated.
Time, and they had that one guy, I forget his name.
Yeah, so
or he owned it, but the military came in and investigated it. I can't remember. It was something like that.
So I mean, there's definitely got to be something more to some of this stuff. I mean, that was private property and it was investigated by the military. So
Again, you truly never own anything. The government wants it, they will take it.
Including your freedom. So don't break the law. Don't trespass. All right. So that's about all I have for tonight. We're having our 3rd annual East Alabama Bigfoot Town Hall, March the 7th of 2026. We're having a meet and greet on the 6th, the day before. I hope I got these dates wrong. Wrong. I hope I got these dates right. I don't want to be telling y'all the wrong information. But we're having a meet and greet on the 6th. It's just going to be a spaghetti dinner and, hang out with us. And then we're also going to try to get out in the woods and do a little squatching that night. And then the town hall will be on Saturday. And we have Dale. He's going to have a group of guys. They're going to be performing some of his Bigfoot tunes and other country music classics, we hope.
Yeah, that's during the meet and greet supper, the spaghetti dinner.
Right.
I suppose that's what
we need to talk about that so we can nail down when you're performing.
Or any time's good for me. But anyway, I'm going to enjoy just being there and doing this Squatch thing, and it's going to be good. Oh Lord, y'all need to come on out.
Absolutely. Yeah, we may end up trying to get you guys to do it on the actual town hall date too, because we'll have a lot more people that day and can do it during breaks and lunch and stuff like that. So
absolutely.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be fun.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. And then of course we also have a paranormal experience that night with Stacy Brown at the old Seal Courthouse in Seal, Alabama. The old courthouse there's a lot of haunted ghost type things that have happened in that area for years and years. So he's going to be doing that. So that should be a lot of fun as well.
That's good. And Stacy's good about it. I mean, you seen some of the stuff he's been filming and producing lately. He knows his stuff. So y'all don't want to miss that. No.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's about all I have for tonight. Thank you guys. Go ahead.
You didn't mention we're going to have Coombo Baker there and MK Davis along and Flat Rock, and you guys are going to be speaking. Finally, I'm hopefully get y'all up in front of a camera and a microphone finally.
Yeah. We're also going to have Stacy Brown and Tyler.
Tyler.
Tyler. They're going to be there.
Howell, Flat Rock, and Stacy.
Flat Rock
together.
Yeah, they'll be speaking from the Alabama Bigfoot Project. So they got some cool things going on, and all three of them have had some amazing experiences.
Yeah. And
throughout
both
the
of them, every event we've had so far has been sold out. So we moved to a larger venue this year. So make sure y'all keep in touch and get your tickets early, because there'll just be a limited supply. I guess I'm not sure, but
yeah, absolutely. I want to read a couple comments real quick. Daniel says that they live 8 miles west of Selfridge Air Base in the flight path to another base. I've seen some wild things in the sky. Interesting. Yeah, so we're going to be having all those guys out. We're also going to be having vendors this year. So if you know a vendor that sells Bigfoot paranormal type merchandise, shoot them our way. We're trying to fill up all the spots that we have, so that way we have a lot of variety.
Yeah, we'll have some craft vendors, things like that. We'll have food trucks on site. Yeah,
we already have several food trucks. I think we have someone that's going to be selling lemonade and stuff like that too.
The peanut plug will be there.
And for you local folks, I want to don't forget,
food truck will be there.
Mm-hmm. True.
Go ahead. What's up, Dale?
I'm sorry. I couldn't hardly hear you, but I'm going to tell you, for you local folks, be sure and go by and pick you up a copy of the Phoenix Citizen, our local newspaper. It talks a little bit about the town hall, when it's going to be there. So it'll be a little something you can keep to remind you of it. Plus, we
got our buddy Dale Boswell got interviewed by the Phoenix Citizen. It's a really great article. What's the date on here?
Yeah,
let's see. Thursday, October the 16th, volume 71.
Yeah.
So if you have a chance to get that, I think Dale's posted a copy of it. We'll try to get a copy posted to our page as well, so you guys can check that out.
Yeah, I'm just supporting our local newspaper. They're a bunch of good folks, but y'all give it a shot and find you one and put it on the wall.
Absolutely. All right, so I think that's about it. Have I covered everything?
I think you covered it all we got tonight.
Yeah, so thank you guys again for joining us, and stay squatchy until next time.
Stay squatchy, guys.
See you, folks. Thanks for joining.
The Squatch Seekers of the South, searching for truth, debunking the doubt. The answers are there if the questions don't count. The Squatch seeking Seekers of the South. East Central Alabama, near the Georgia line. The mighty Chattahoochee running deep and wide. There's talk of hairy creatures running about, and a group of Squatch Seekers steady stalking the South. Whoa, Squatch Seekers of the South, searching for truth,